This is part 3 of the At-Hand LMS installation video tutorial. We're going to configure Websphere, and again we're going to follow this. I'm going to open up a command prompt, go to my Websphere bin folder. Actually, I can remember that path, but I'm going to copy that because that's a bit trickier. And we will run our installation step. Bring my prompt in here where it's visible. See, I had to go to IBM, Websphere, it was the bin folder, paste in my command, and it said Geronimo service has been installed. Check back on my document, and I'm going to go and look in my services for IBM Websphere. What exactly follows can change, but there should only be one IBM Websphere at this point. Bring my services in here. And there is IBM Websphere. The instructions say to go ahead and start it. Give it a few seconds to get started. Though first I'm going to refresh this. Okay, it's installed and started up without problem, so I don't need to bother checking my log files. I just need to not rearrange that. Something to do with the video and everything working together is not making that drag correctly. Okay, so I've copied my path. I installed Firefox as the early instructions suggested. I found that Chrome can't install on a new 2003 installation. Neither can the Firefox 64-bit, but the Firefox 32-bit installed just fine. I'm going to be down here, so okay, I'm going to this address. Oh, and my username will be system, my password manager. I don't need anything. This is the first time I've started up Firefox. My connection's pretty quick, but sometimes it gets a little bit laggy. Okay, paste in my address. System manager. For production system, one of the things you'll want to do is change that password, so I am not going to have it remember that. So in Console Navigator, go to Web Server. We need to go to our Tomcat Web Connector and edit it to run on port 80 and to redirect to 443. So our Tomcat Web Connector, I'm going to edit that. There's lots of things we just got to look for. Port 80. And then we look for our redirect, which would normally, well, on those port settings should be sending it to 8443. We need to change that to just 443. Here we are. Then save. So let's see, that was the web connector. That's it. Let me double check. Yep, I'm gonna need to edit the SSL connector also. I know I'm doing these things a tiny bit out of order, but If I do the other one, I'll have to stop, redirect, and come back in here. So I'm going to stop my SSL connector because I am not in SSL mode at the moment, so I should be able to stop and start that without problem. I'm going to stop my, actually if I stop that, I won't be able to get back in. We'll leave that for the moment. It doesn't say to stop it in the directions, so we won't stop it. Okay, now we go to our web app wars under applications. Check expert user. And then we are going to uninstall both of our dojos. That's because our LMS uses dojo and it will follow under that default dojo path. So it gets in the way. Okay, dojo is also stopped. I should also uninstall the dojo applications, it says. Oh, it took me out of expert user mode. I gotta put myself back in expert user mode. Stop. And then I'm going to uninstall them. Okay, so now we go to console navigation, security, users, and groups. I believe we will be changing our password here. And then system under console user realms, console realm users, Change the password to a strong password. Make a note of this password. You will have to choose your password. I will choose mine. As this says, make sure you make a note of your password. I'm not entirely certain I know any reasonable steps to get back in if you lose that password. Okay, so we've done all of this. Now we are going to our console navigation and shut down. That will shut down the actual Websphere service. From within the application. It just tells me that it's giving me a warning because if I shut down this service, I can't start it back up from the web console. I think that's what that message says right there. Now, if you notice what I was saying here is we may need to take out the 8080 of our URL. That was a bit early, but our original URL had the port 8080 in it. We changed that to just 80, which is the default HTTP port. So once we start it back up, we will be using the address without the port 8080. So go to services and restart the Websphere service. Which one of these is services? I think if we refresh, we'll find it stopped. Start it. Come back here to our application. Go to, oh, that was probably, usually we have to wait about 30 seconds between when we start the service and when the web application actually becomes available. That was a bit quick. Let's try that again. And that is the last step of our Websphere configuration. Next, we will be moving on to installing our database server.